Garrett Gates. The first real death that matters in Wednesday doesn't happen on screen in the present, but decades earlier. Garrett Gates is already long gone when Wednesday arrives at Nevermore, yet his death casts a shadow over the entire season. Garrett was the son of the Gates family, a wealthy Jericho clan with a deep hatred for outcasts. Back in Morticia and Gomez's student days, Garrett became dangerously obsessed with Morticia. What looked like teenage infatuation was actually the cover for something much darker. At a school event, Garrett stormed in carrying a vial of poison. His plan was simple: wipe out the entire student body of Nevermore in one night. This wasn't about love, it was about hate. The confrontation turned violent, and in the chaos, Garrett died. For years, Gomez carried the guilt, believing he had struck the fatal blow. But the truth was even more twisted. Garrett had already been poisoned by his own father, who wanted to ensure his loyalty to the family's extremist mission. His rampage was a suicide mission from the start. Garrett's death isn't just backstory, it's the foundation for the entire murder mystery. It explains the Gates family's crusade against Nevermore. It ties Wednesday's parents directly into the conspiracy, and it shows that the divide between outcasts and normies has always been deadly. Garrett might be the first corpse in the timeline, but he's also the spark that lights the fire. Rowan Laszlo. The first on-screen death that shakes Wednesday is Rowan Laszlo. He's a fellow student at Nevermore, gifted with telekinesis and the son of a devoted faculty member. On paper, he should have been just another eccentric classmate, but instead, his death becomes the catalyst for Wednesday's entire investigation. Rowan initially comes across as socially awkward, almost fragile, but beneath that, he's carrying a dangerous obsession, an old prophecy. He believes Wednesday is destined to bring destruction to Nevermore. Convinced that killing her will save the school, Rowan lures her into the woods and tries to crush her with his powers. It's a shocking moment, especially because he isn't some faceless villain. He's a student, one of their own, and he's about to murder Wednesday in cold blood. But then the real monster shows up, the Hyde. Rowan never gets the chance to finish what he started. The Hyde, later revealed to be Tyler, rips him apart in front of Wednesday. What makes this death even more unsettling is what happens afterward. Rowan's body vanishes, and for a time the school covers up the incident, leaving Wednesday to question her own sanity. Rowan's death is essential because it shifts the story from strange school drama to high-stakes murder mystery. It also proves that Wednesday isn't paranoid. Something monstrous is truly hunting people. Rowan came after her, but in the end, he became the first victim of the Hyde. Mayor Noble Walker. If Rowan's death sets the stage for the supernatural mystery, Mayor Noble Walker's death pulls the curtain back on the conspiracy in Jericho. The mayor is a key figure in the town, the one person trying, at least publicly, to balance the fragile peace between outcasts and normies. But Walker knows too much, and in Wednesday, that's a death sentence. The mayor starts digging into the Gates family after strange clues resurface. He realizes their supposedly dead legacy isn't as buried as people think. He suspects Laurel Gates, thought to be long gone, is still alive and manipulating events from the shadows. Just as he begins connecting the dots, he's silenced. One night, while crossing the street, he's struck in a deliberate hit and run. At first, it looks like an accident, but it's far too clean to be coincidence. Walker's death matters because it removes one of the last adults who could have actually untangled the conspiracy before Wednesday did. He was close, dangerously close, to exposing Laurel Gates and her role in controlling the Hyde. By killing him off, the show raises the stakes and isolates Wednesday further. It also exposes how deep the corruption runs, since covering up the truth required murdering the town's most visible figure. The mayor doesn't die with gothic spectacle like Garrett or Rowan. His end is blunt, human, and political, which makes it even scarier. Monsters are terrifying, but in Wednesday, sometimes the real killers are just people with secrets to protect. Dr. Valerie Kinbot. Dr. Valerie Kinbot is Nevermore's resident therapist, and at first she seems like one of the few stable adults in Wednesday's life. Her sessions with Wednesday are meant to ground her, but instead they pull her deeper into the conspiracy. But the truth is crueler. Kinbot isn't the villain. She's a victim. When she digs too close to the reality of the Hyde, she pays the price. In one of the most brutal moments of the series, the Hyde attacks her in her own office, mauling her to death. It's sudden and violent, showing that the monster doesn't just kill randoms in the woods. It eliminates anyone who might interfere with its mission. Kinbot's death matters because it strips Wednesday of a rare ally. While the therapist may not have been perfect, she offered Wednesday a place to process the chaos around her. Her murder also confirms something important. The Hyde isn't just acting at random. Principal Larissa Weems. Principal Weems represents authority, tradition, and the fragile peace at Nevermore. For most of the season, she remains a complicated figure, strict, calculating, but not without compassion. She doesn't trust Wednesday fully, yet she recognizes her potential and often shields her from the worst consequences of her reckless investigations. It's ironic, then, that her death feels like one of the show's greatest tragedies. In the final episodes, the mastermind behind the killings, Marilyn Thornhill, secretly Laurel Gates reveals herself. As she manipulates Tyler, the Hyde, into doing her bidding, she closes in on her ultimate goal. Weems, realizing the truth, steps in to stop her. But instead of a dramatic showdown, Thornhill dispatches her with cold efficiency. A syringe of poison. Weems collapses, her face filled with shock more than pain, and the audience is left stunned. Her death hits differently because she isn't a villain, nor is she a random casualty. She's one of the most important figures in Nevermore, and her murder leaves a gaping hole in the school's leadership. Symbolically, it shows how far the conspiracy is willing to go, removing the very person responsible for keeping peace between students and the outside world. Weems's death also sharpens Wednesday's resolve. Losing the principal makes her investigation more urgent because it's no longer about just solving a mystery. It's about avenging someone who, in her own way, believed in her. Marilyn Thornhill, Laurel Gates. The final death of the season isn't as clear-cut as the others, but it's just as important. Marilyn Thornhill, the friendly botany teacher who always seemed a little too perfect, is finally exposed as Laurel Gates, the supposedly dead sister of Garrett Gates. Her family's obsession with destroying Nevermore didn't die with Garrett, and she's been orchestrating the chaos from the shadows all along. Her plan is ruthless. By controlling Tyler as the Hyde, she eliminates anyone who gets in her way and prepares to finish the Gates family mission of wiping out the outcasts. When Wednesday finally confronts her, Laurel is unmasked, not just as a murderer, but as the architect of nearly every death in the season. Unlike Garrett, Rowan, or Weems, Laurel doesn't get a dramatic on-screen killing. Instead, she's defeated, overpowered, and left for the authorities. Whether you consider this a death depends on interpretation. Her identity, her mission, and her mask all die in that moment. The teacher everyone trusted is gone forever, replaced by the fanatic underneath. Narratively, Laurel's downfall is the climax. It ties every loose thread together. The Gates family feud, the Hyde attacks, and the escalating body count. She may not lie in a grave like the others, but the end of her deception closes the cycle of death that started with her brother. In the world of Wednesday, that's as final as any grave.